everyone, it's Darby from rejoiceandcreate.com, and I have a very cute but quick little project for you today, and it's this Santa's chimney treat holder. It holds this Santa. Let me go pull him out for a minute and I'll show you. And he is probably about 3.5 or a little bit more tall, plus about 2 inches wide, just slightly less, and he fits nice down in there. And I got him at the Dollar Tree, and I can get 3 for $1, and he is the Caramel Santa Claus. I also at the Dollar Tree found this one, which is the Crisp Kringle. That's kind of a cute little play on words, because he's a double crisp bar, and they come 3 in a package as well. And I'm going to use him for the next one, because I can show you that the different variations will still fit in this treat holder. And he is 4 inches tall and about 1 3/4 inches wide, and he'll fit in here as well. We're going to use him for the next one. So what you'll need for this project is you'll need a piece of cardstock and whatever you want your chimney to be. I have a red one, and it is 3 inches wide by 8 inches long. Now, however you want to decorate it is what else you'll need. I have a scrap of white for my bow that says Be Jolly. And I have a scrap of black because I punched another bow to go underneath it and kind of echo, kind of give it a little bit of definition. On this one I also used the Holly Builder punch, and this is a punch by Stampin' Up! That has 2 sizes of holly. It has a little bow, which you could use as well, and there's a couple of berries in there as well. And I use these out of Old Olive and Real Red, and I'm using the Real Red cardstock again today. For this one, I actually used this punch, which is a candy cane builder punch, maybe? I actually don't know the name of it, but it has the candy cane and the bow, and these match in this stamp set by Stampin' Up!, which is Candy Cane Season. And what I did is I stamped the solid one in a 2nd generation stamping because I used Real Red and I didn't want it to be too dark, so I stamped it off first and then stamped it onto the Whisper White, and then I just stamped the Be Jolly over it in black. And then I cut this one by hand, but it does match the punch, but it's very easy to cut by hand. And then for this project, I actually used the scoreboard. Now, you don't need the scoreboard. If you have a ruler and a stylus, you can actually create this brick-looking pattern on here, and that's all I did was a stylus and my scoring board. But you can line up your ruler and do this as well, but it goes very quickly on the scoreboard. So I'll show you how I did that, because you do not need an embossing folder to create this. Alright, so go ahead and put the 3-inch side up, and we're going to score it on 3/8 inch from both sides. So score it at the 3/8 inch and the 2 5/8 inch. Okay, now turn it to the side. And for the holder itself, these are going to be our score lines that we're going to fold. At the 4.5 inch, at the 5 1/4 inch, and at the 7.5 inch. All right, so let me show you. Those will be folded down and create the base, and then this one will be folded over. So if you want to flip and fold that one, that's fine as well. So it'll be like this. But now, to create that brick pattern, we're actually going to score a pattern into it. So remember which ones are your fold lines. And at every 1/2 inch, from the 4.5 inch down, we're going to score for decoration. So score it at, oops, I jumped that one. Score it every 1/2 inch at 4, at 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2, I jumped that one again too, 2, 1/2, 1 inch, and 1/2 inch. Okay, and then from the 5 1/4 inch going up, we're going to score every 1/2 inch until we get to our top score for the top of our chimney in the front, for the front of our chimney. So start at the 5 1/4, it would be 5 3/4, 6 1/4, 6 3/4, and 7 1/4. Because this one's going to fold over and be the top of our chimney, we don't have to worry necessarily about decorating that one, but we will decorate the next one down. So go ahead and turn it sideways again, and this is how we're going to get the bricks. Now along these, we're going to actually score the vertical relief so we can so we can define where our bricks are. And usually I just start right in the middle of the top one because I know where that one is. So on the second one, I'll vary it because my bricks are offset. And what I'll do is I'll just gently roll my stylus ball along there until I know that I'm in a groove. And then I'll go down to the next one. Same on this one. I'll just gently go back and forth until I know I'm seated in a groove. And I'll go down one. And then what I'll do is I'll go back to my middle. Although it doesn't have to be. I mean, you can vary it as well. And again, I'll go this way and gently rock it until I know I'm in a groove. And over here as well. And sometimes I'll go back and forth because mine may not line up perfectly. My bricks may not, line up perfectly on every course of bricks. So I'll kind of vary them a little bit. But every one I do the same. I just gently kind of rock back and forth until I know I'm in one of the grooves and go ahead and score it. Just between the score lines, the 1/2 inch score lines. Okay, so we see that brick pattern I'm getting with? Maybe not. Oh, maybe there you can see it. So you can see I'm kind of have a brick pattern going. Okay, so now we're going to do it on the bottom part of it. Same thing. On that top one, I'm going to go ahead and score right in the center, but take care not to score any more on this one because this is going to be like the capstones of the chimney. So we'll score in that middle one and then repeat. Just rock it back and forth until you make a nice brick pattern. Oops, I'm kind of off on that one too. Okay, and then here's the bottom. That 3/4 inch one is the bottom. All right, so we have all of our brick patterns. Hopefully you can see that, but if not, we're going to see it a lot in a minute because we're going to use some shading with some dark ink. Now you can use a dark red, you can use a dark gray. I'm going to use the Memento Black. And I have a sponge, and all I'm going to do is kind of go over this. Okay, so this is neat for later. Let me go ahead and put a piece of scrap under that. And all I do is kind of go back and forth, and that really makes my bricks stand out now. Let me turn that around so I can do the back as well. Okay, so you can kind of see the brick pattern, and you can see where I made my oopsies too, but that's okay. Old worn chimneys tend to be a little bit erratic, perhaps. All right, now on this top part, I'm going to fold it over. So what I do want to do is to, on the back side of it, just edge it a little bit before I glue it down. And you could do the top too, but either before or after you edge. It might be easier now I've got the ink out. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is on these sides, cut up those 2 bottom score lines, and we're actually going to cut past that side score line. We're going in about 1 inch, and it doesn't have to be exact, so go in just about 1 inch. Just make it even on both sides, and then do a slight little notching. Very slight. Same with this side. Just about 1 inch in. And a very slight little notch just to help keep your hold your chimney together. Okay, now at that inch, oops, sorry, on the back side, turn over, and where you put it into, just go ahead and fold it down and keep that tab within the sides of that 3/4 inch fold. Same on this side. And just match the end of the tabs up in the middle, and then you'll know that you're kind of even on both sides. And then the last thing we're going to do is actually just pinch these together like this. Make a V out of it, because it's easier to see that do it now. When we fold this together, this is going to be pushed into the V that's made by the 2 sides being glued, and it's easier to go ahead and encourage it to do that now. So go ahead and pinch that in a V on both sides. As I said, these won't be seen, so it doesn't have to be exact. Next thing we'll do is go ahead and glue the front of our chimney down. You can use some strong adhesive, you know, either the tear and tape, the red line tape, whatever you have that's a strong adhesive. Even liquid glue. Just give it a chance to dry before you move on with it. And then what we're going to do is on the front side of this, right up to that 3/8 inch score on both sides, we're going to put also a strong adhesive. So on both sides of the front part of the chimney. Now I forgot to do this while I had it out, but I kind of like the back of the behind Santa to look a little bit distressed too. And even though the score lines came in, it still made a nice little distressed when I ran over it with the ink. So let me just go ahead and grab my sponge again. I'm just going to go over that one. And the last thing I did for the top is I went ahead and punched a decorative pattern on the corners. Now for this one I used an old retired Stampin' Up! Punch just to give it a double scallop on the corners. But you could use any corner rounder you had or any decorative corner punch you had, or you could just cut it like the tag tops. Just cut it on both sides at an angle, and I think that would look sweet too. Alright, so let's go ahead and glue our sides up. Push these in so they don't interfere with you gluing, and we're going to pick these both up and we're going to match the sides up like this and then squish them together, lining up the sides. Just slip that in there so it doesn't curve too much. There we go. Oops. All right, and go ahead, just, you can fold back and forth that score line just to, it gives the front of it a reason to curve away from it. And it lets those tape stick together a little bit better. Okay, so this is how the bottom looks, and if you saw the little Ghirardelli Easter Bunny basket, it's kind of similar with how I did the bottom on this one, you know, to push the sides together. So just go ahead and reach in with your finger or something and push those tabs to the sides, just to give you room for Santa. I don't know if you can see on the bottom, but see I'm pushing that tab from my finger to the side and pushing on that one. We're not sticking it, we're just pushing it to open up the tabs. All right. And now is when Santa can go in, or whatever candy you have. There we go. And there's Santa. All right, now, so if you want to hang it, just go ahead. I have a 1/8 inch punch, and I punched it just right in the center. Oh, I probably should have done that before Santa, but we're good. Just right in the center, I punched a little hole. And I have some 1/8 inch ribbon. I'm just looping through. If this is sitting or laying on a table, of course you don't have to put the loop in there. And then to save time, I went ahead and stamped my bow, and I actually cut this one up by hand, but then I went and punched a black one out. If you don't have the punch, just stamp the bow again and you go ahead and cut it out. And what I did was just cut it in half vertical right at the center so that I could give a shadow to my bow. And let me go ahead and just put a glue dot on this side, and I'm going to stick it just a little bit off, and same with the other side. And then I put another glue dot in the middle and stick it right at the base of my bow. Now for this one I used the stamp that was in the stamp set, and I'm going to go ahead and put that down right there. And if you don't have the holly builder punch, which is what I used for the last one, then just I used a 1/4 inch circle punch, handheld circle punch, and just punched out some red cardstock. I'm just going to glue one over my holly to make it look like holly berries. So that's my project today, a Santa chimney treat holder that's cute and tasty. So I hope you enjoyed the project today and give it a try. If you need more information, please go to rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!